folk here in Christchurch. They tell you that there is one man in town that you absolutely have to meet before you leave. This is a man who describes himself as a living work of art. With its sedate parks and British field, Christchurch was missing only one thing. To complete the picture, it needed a true British eccentric. 20 years ago, Christchurch got one.
No man is born free. All men are born in chains.
His real name is Ian Brackenbury Channell, an Englishman by birth, a sociology professor in Melbourne, Australia, and now the celebrated Wizard of Christchurch. Most afternoons, you'll find him in Cathedral Square, delighting locals and tourists alike by lampooning everyone and everything, from politics to the battle of the sexes.
Human female is the only animal, apart from the gibbon, who is always on heat. They never leave us alone. Never.
At first, the city council tried to get rid of the wizard, but over the years, he cast a spell on them. It's called becoming a tourist attraction. And now the Wizard of Christchurch lives on donations. He is different. Look at his car. You never know if the wizard is coming or going. But he did manage to drive over and find us. And here he is now, the Wizard of Christchurch. It's a pleasure to have you here.
Good morning, Charles. Welcome to Christchurch.
Thank you very much. I'm never sure when I hear about you whether your duty is to amaze, to astonish, to annoy. What is it?
It is those very things. Appointed by the Prime Minister 2 years ago, the last Prime Minister, as Wizard of New Zealand, those are my duties, to amaze, amuse, annoy certain people, and to bless this country.
And how do you do that when you're in the square? What is it you like to talk most about?
Well, I'd like to talk about men's rights today, the idea of post-feminist men's rights. It's a whole new development of mine. My mother was a feminist and my grandmother, and I developed a whole new set of ideas to enable men to rise above women and avoid being cut down by them. It's very difficult, and I worked it all out. It's heard in the men like my stuff very much.
Do you think we men are in peril?
Yes. It's what I call Save the Males campaign.
M-A-L-E-S.
Yes,
right,
I'm afraid. We're dying out, you see, being driven under by the terrible attacks they're putting on us.
Well, a lot of people feel we're basically superfluous, not needed.
Oh, we're not needed. That's not important to be needed. No, I'm not useful. No, we're works of art, you see. The idea of being a work of art is very attractive. After what use to most women in the old days? They were just pretty things, weren't they? They used to wobble around in high-heeled shoes. But now they can do anything. Men aren't useful anymore, so men can now become works of art.
So what should we do? How do we live as works of art?
We must learn to have superior nonsense to talk, a lot of rubbish and nonsense to impress them with. Of course, we need to study art, philosophy, music, so we can show off a lot. We must learn to sing and dance better, and to leap around a lot, showing off, you know, displaying, bungee jumping, anything to impress them.
And do we need to preen a bit, works of art?
And decent hats, too. You must wear good hats. I mean,
well, you've done that.
I have a good hat, yes. We do need good hats, yes, and decent clothes, yes.
Now, tell me about the way the world regards New Zealand and Australia. I mean, we're down at the bottom of the world here.
It's a bit of a joke.
Yes,
we are the antipodes idea, isn't it?
Right.
The English began everything. They began the Industrial Revolution. They gave us Greenwich, the meantime. They gave us America. It's an English invention, United States, of course. We designed America. And this is our... Yes, English language, English law. I mean, you are basically an English colony. It's gone independent. Now, New Zealand is one of those funny colonies that was too far away, and it's got rather peculiar. It's an odd place. It's full of weirdos.
It is very odd. Yeah. But don't tell anybody that.
No. It's a good secret, that, isn't it? Yes. And so I feel this is a wonderful place for a wizard to live, and I'm accepted here very well.
Now, tell me about this map that you've got.
Oh, they like this too. Well, of course, they enjoy this, because I'm an important person. I've had to design a new world for myself, and this is part of it. It's the South Up world, with New Zealand on top, with Australia.
New Zealand here.
Right, yes.
Australia here.
That's right, and there's the Yanks are down there, and the Russians down there, and so on. The Poms are down the bottom here.
The Yanks have been stuck down here. Florida would like to know that they're up at the top of the country now, I suspect.
Place, yes,
that would be...
It does please them, yeah.
I must show everybody your passport, which I have in my pocket. I'll give it back.
Passport too.
Yes, I promise that.
I can now travel. 20 years I couldn't travel. Now I've got a passport as a wizard.
Can you see this? It actually says, right here, the Wizard of New Zealand. They let you travel that way, do they?
Yes, it was 20 years of trying, and finally we got it done. Yeah.
Well, very pleasant to meet you. And
Thank you, Charles.
Yes. When the folks come to the square, do they heckle you at all?
They daren't. No, I'm too awful for words. They're too flabbergasted. They're too stunned by my awful things I say. Really,
do they ask you about American politics?
I tell them about American politics. They understand these things.
Were you a Clinton man or a, dare I say it, Bush man?
I'm more a Bush man myself, because Democrats are too trendy and a bit soft, you see. To be nasty, you've got to be Republican, basically.
Well, you've heard it here first. We're in trouble, folks, for the next 4 years, I guess.
Well, all the media guys are Democrats, aren't they?
We'll check in with you as to how things are going. Great pleasure again. Thank you very much.